Doing great, doing great. How is everyone?
Doing well, thank you. All right, well, I'm not sure.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can. Hello, Cora.
Okay. I just don't have video, so, I mean, I can see you, but I can't, I am having trouble. I have to log in from another computer other than my regular desktop, so that's what the delay here has been.
Well, we're glad you can make it. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Cora, to go ahead and get us started.
Sure. We'll go ahead and have a roll call, see who we've got today.
We'll go ahead and start with the folks online. We got Cora, Patrick,
I'm here.
Carmen,
Present.
Meredith Childs.
Haley Lagacy.
Greg Hamblett.
And Amy Edmonds, City of Coos Bay.
And if I can remind the folks in the dais, if when you're talking, make sure you push the green button on the microphone so that folks online can hear you as well.
Okay, sounds like we have a quorum. Do we have any public comment today?
None, Cora.
Okay, good. Let's move on to our...
Cora, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, did you have a public comment that was not pertaining to one of the items that were already on the agenda?
I don't have any.
We have a gentleman in the audience that raised his hand.
I have your agenda.
Okay,
I got the wrong tree marked.
we have the wrong tree marked.
Yeah.
Okay, but it is in regards to the property at 2050 Thompson?
Pardon?
Is that the property for 2050 Thompson?
Yeah.
Okay, that is on the agenda, so we can talk about it when we get to that agenda item?
Sure.
Okay, so no public comment.
Okay, so we okay to go ahead and move on?
Yep.
Okay, action items number A, let's do our annual election of the chair and vice chair for the tree board.
So, tree board rules as defined in the Coos Bay Municipal Code, Chapter 8.30, tree board composition and procedure, state that the tree board members by majority of votes shall elect a chairperson and vice chairperson for a one-year term at the beginning of each year and may re-elect the incumbents. The chairperson shall preside over the tree meetings and retain the right to vote. The vice chairperson shall preside in the chairperson's absence. In 2024, the chair was Cora Velden, and the vice chair is currently vacant. So if it pleases the tree board, nominate and vote a chairperson and vice chairperson for a one-year term.
Well, my vote would be to re-elect the incumbent, Cora Velden, for the chair.
And I would second that motion.
A reminder to unmute your microphone when you're speaking.
My green button's on.
Maybe.
Pull your
Rex,
mic down.
Turn your mic down a little bit.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you. So we have a first and a second.
We have a motion and a second, yes.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Anyone opposed? Couldn't hear what that comment was.
I don't think there was one, Cora.
No,
Okay, all right.
motion carries.
The
Is
motion
that okay
carries.
with you, Cora?
That's quite all right, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll gladly serve another term.
So now we need a vice.
Yes.
Who's going to go for the vice?
I'll nominate Rex Miller.
All right.
And I will
I'll
second that.
Good. Okay, we have a motion made to have Rex Miller as our vice chair with a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? No. Okay.
And I
Rex.
abstain.
Okay.
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 Cora,
After-
Cora, we are having some technical difficulties. Can we put a pause on the meeting for a moment?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. After the factory removal adjacent to Texas.
Yes. Oh, lost it. Tree board.
550, okay.
The first one is the one that I'm familiar with because Pat was working on that one.
Okay,
It's out in Empire overlooking the bay, kind of, as much as I know,
okay, and it's after the fact, so it's
after the fact.
now, it's down.
Yep.
Is that the first one?
Yeah. The tax lot 550.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's after the fact, there's nothing we can do now.
Nope. So I guess we'll
Yep.
go ahead and approve that one.
Oh, they're still waiting for their
They're still
technical
waiting
things.
on,
Oh,
Yeah, if we could just
The
hold off on
worldwide,
the meeting until we get this back up and running, please.
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
so, let's see.
How's everybody's holidays? Nice?
Yeah.
Is it busy? You all stay in town or?
We went to visit family in California, and we did not have to deal with any bad traffic, so that was a successful trip.
Probably was warm then. Not too far down.
Not too certainly been enjoying the sunshine the past last 2 weeks.
It's been really nice.
Cold.
Yeah.
Really cold though.
Frost and funky.
Okay, Cora, it looks like we're back up and running here, so I
Good.
appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. Thank you, board members, for our patience.
No problem. So continuing on about the, after the fact tree removal at the tax lot 5500, I'm guessing there's not going to be any discussion about that?
Yeah, actually, I would like to kind of go over this with the board, and specifically maybe come down to the action requested. So on October 2nd, 2024, staff was alerted to several trees that were removed in the unapproved right-of-way located west of tax lot 5500 in North Empire along North Marple Street. There is an attached exhibit, if you haven't had a chance to look at it yet, just south of Taylor Avenue. City staff investigated and determined approximately 10 to 15 trees and other vegetation had been removed within the right-of-way limits. It was further learned that the owner of tax lot 5500, Mr. Martindale, removed the trees. Additional trees were removed further to the west and outside of the right-of-way by Mr. Martindale. However, this is a civil matter between the two property owners. Mr. Martindale has submitted the attached application for consideration. Staff is recommending that the tree board approve the after-the-fact request with the condition that Mr. Martindale or his duly authorized representative submit a right-of-way use application for review and approval that proposes that the replanting of vegetation in this area to stabilize the hillside for future erosion. So with that, the action requested by staff is, if it pleases the tree board, approve the after-the-fact tree removal application with the condition that the applicant obtain a right-of-way use permit and replants the disturbed area with vegetation to help stabilize the hillside from future erosion.
Okay, do we have any discussion about this?
And the plan is to use some type of a natural vegetation from the area as a replant,
Natural vegetation? Correct, yes.
native.
Native vegetation. They'll work with staff to make sure that the site is stabilized.
Okay,
So let me get this straight. They went over the line by like 150 foot here onto adjacent property.
Mhm.
Do they want, are we asking that they replant that entire thing?
We're asking for the city, we're asking them that they replant the right-of-way. The property adjacent to it is going to be a civil matter between the two, but the slope does need to be stabilized. So for the city and the tree board, we have jurisdiction in the right-of-way. That's what this is for.
So what is being asked here is that the tree board okays the right-of-way to be planted with backed with native material.
To stabilize the
To stabilize, yes.
from future erosion.
Okay. Well, that sounds reasonable to me.
And that's all sand out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will make a motion that we approve the after-the-fact tree removal application with the condition that the applicant obtains a right-of-way use permit and replants the disturbed area with vegetation to help stabilize the hillside from future erosion.
I will second that motion. I think that was very well stated.
I'll try and restate that, that we approve the after-the-fact tree removal, conditioned on the remover replanting the area with a native plants according to the city in the right-of-way, and we have a second. So is there any discussion?
I have a question. Do we have indication that the property owner or the person who did all the tree removal is willing to do this, or is there anything that we need to put in as a actions for recourse if this protocol isn't followed?
So we do have If they have to submit a right-of-way use application, they also have a site development plan that they have to submit. And then if they don't, we do have code enforcement that we can utilize to enforce the municipal code. But my understanding is that the applicant is willing to do this.
And was there any indication of why these trees were cut?
Staff's understanding is that the applicant misunderstood a previous vacation of Grant Street, had confused that with this North Empire Boulevard vacation, was what the applicant stated. That he thought that the vacation was North Empire, not Grant Street. Grant Avenue, I'm
Gotcha.
sorry.
Okay,
That was the indication that staff had received from the applicant.
gotcha. Well, that's all the questions I have at the moment.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with a second. Is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay. Moving forward, do we, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. And Greg, the city will send the notification to the parties involved?
Correct.
Okay,
We will for all of these actions today.
okay. I'm just checking.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along. The tree removal request at 1330 Newmark.
So on December 12th, 2024, the city of Coos Bay received an application for the property manager of the self-storage unit at 1330 Newmark Avenue with a request to remove 2 trees from the city's right-of-way adjacent to the property. The first being a cedar tree that has significant lean towards the fence. The second being a spruce tree with exposing roots that are starting to cause damage to the asphalt inside of the storage facility. Staff recommends the removal of both trees and concurs with the property manager. If it pleases the tree board, approve the request from the property management company to remove the trees adjacent to 1330 Newmark Avenue at their expense.
I make a motion that both of the trees should be removed. Between just a hazard to the fence and damage to the road right-of-way and fence area.
Well, I fully understand the cedar tree, and I have no problem with removal of that. But with the spruce, it says in the report here, they ask if it could be limbed up. And that's something that I think staff should be able to handle when that comes across the desk. Yes, you're allowed to limb trees up in the city of Coos Bay. You just can't top them. You can't take them out unless you get approval. But that's the only tree in that street. I would say limb that thing up well off the fence and leave the spruce and get rid of the cedar. That would be my take on it.
I read the document, and part of the problem with the spruce is the upheaval of the pavement, and I don't think that the limbing is going to fix that problem. It's just not the right tree for that area.
Well, that's true. It's not the right tree for that area. I would not have planted an evergreen there, but it's there.
I know.
And we've got many examples in Coos Bay where the roots have extended out and created problems like that. Is it lifting the sidewalk or the curb? I guess there is no sidewalk, so.
It's lifting the private property owner's road inside of their storage facility, the asphalt inside of the storage facility.
Yeah, they don't have a good picture of that.
Yeah. Well, that might sway me a little bit, but
You can see all the roots are surface,
sure.
and that doesn't bode well for any kind of improvement that's there.
Right, and we don't want to set the thing of telling them they can't remove that tree that has the roots that are coming up through the asphalt and later pose a problem and the city gets sued for liability because we told them they couldn't take the tree out.
Well, okay.
I mean, I'm with Rex. I'd hate to see us remove a tree. However, if it's causing damage to property,
If it were in a
and-
different place, with not so near to the asphalt surfaces, I would say not to remove it. But in that situation, I go towards the removing. I just don't like it lifting stuff because it gets worse, like you say.
So I will second the motion to approve the request to remove the trees at the owner's expense.
okay, have a motion made to allow the trees to be removed at the owner's expense, and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries, and the property owner will be allowed to remove those trees that were specifically stated in the request. Okay, moving along, the tree removal request at 1476 Redwood.
Redwood. On September 18th, 2024, the city of Coos Bay received an application from the property owner of 1475 Redwood Avenue with a request to remove several previously top trees adjacent to their property. The property owner reached out to an arborist that reported that the trees have been previously topped and limbed and now have multiple tops that are of significant size to break and cause damage to the house. Staff concurs with the arborist findings and of the increased threat of tops falling off in the near future. Staff recommends the removal of the trees. If it pleases the tree board, approve the request from the property owner to remove the trees adjacent to 1476 Redwood Avenue at their expense. We have the application, and we do have the report from the Savage Tree Care that provided the report.
Have we had an issue with trees, another residents up there in that area?
In my time, I don't recall, Cora, on this, with this tree board, in my time.
Okay.
Not sure about the rest of the tree board members.
Where's Redwood, do you know?
This is up off of 14th and Redwood.
Okay, all right, it's not the same place, never mind.
Okay. How many trees are in question here? I see a map that shows 4 trees, and 2 of them seem to be on the owner's property, 2 of them on city property, is that correct? There's 5 trees.
Good for that map.
Yeah, there's five identified on the last photo.
Yeah, I think there's 5 or 6 trees. Actually, the property owner is in attendance today.
Okay.
If we do have some questions, he's here, Ryan.
Hello?
Yeah, Ryan's here. If we do have any questions, he can maybe offer some more support
How many trees?
for this issue.
I see 5.
This is on. There are 6 trees, but I think
Ryan,
only.
could we get you to give your name and your address?
My name is Ryan Barber. I live at 1476 Redwood Avenue here in Coos Bay. There are 6 trees, but I think one of them can stay. My main concern with the 6th tree was that it is really close to a power line. The city's had to work with it a few times, but it's not as much of a concern to me for my home. Mm-hmm. Of the other 6 trees, there were 7, and in the last year, one of them fell and hit the house. The other trees have already caused some actual real damage to the home just in this last couple storms that came. Yeah. So there are the 6, but the 5 are my main concern. They've been topped off, I would say about at 55 feet of height, maybe 30 to 35 years ago before I owned the property. That's where we're at. Any other questions?
And which, Do you know if any of those are on your property compared to?
It's ambiguous. There are two that are almost certainly on my property, but I've looked through all of the maps of the area, and because all the lines seem to be skewed over about 10 feet to one side, it's not clear.
Yeah.
There are 4 of them that may be on my property and may not, and I wanted to get permission from the tree board before I did anything, just in case they happen to be on the right-of-way.
Okay. That's just a question. I was just looking at the.
Yeah,
what
I'm
the
not
plat
actually
shows,
sure.
and the plat
They
just-
might all be on my property, and they might,
Most likely not. But
most likely 4 of them are either off of my property or right on the line,
okay.
depending on the tree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
If you have any other questions, I'm not far.
I look at the pictures and I see the topping, and you top a tree and you create a future problem, which they're living with. A future problem creates areas of stress, weakness, etc. I think they should be removed as needed, and I will make a motion the same.
Is this the Lon Samuels residence before you bought it?
It was. I've owned it for about a year and a half.
Okay, and Redwood's dead end.
It is. It's functionally, it's just a driveway.
Has it ever been vacated, or is it still a street?
It is still a road.
It's a road, yeah.
It's public right away, yes.
Okay.
I think it's outside this board's directive, but I'd say vacate it. Can I have it? I mean,
There's another process for that.
Well,
Yep.
I'll build a garage.
yeah. Well, if it was vacated, you wouldn't need to be here before us.
I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion made to allow the property owner to remove the trees that he's requested at 1476 Redwood Avenue at his expense. And we have a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Well, thank you.
Okay, motion carries, and he will be allowed to remove those trees.
Thank you, Ryan.
Do I need to wait for?
You're good. We'll send you a letter. Take care.
Okay, the tree removal request at 2045 Timberline.
On November 11th, 2024, the city of Coos Bay received an application from the property owners of 2045 Timberline Drive with a request to move a large Douglas fir tree adjacent to their property. Staff investigated and found that the tree in question has been limbed approximately 50 feet up and causing concern for the property owner and surrounding neighbors that the heavy branches might fall and cause harm or damage. Staff recommends the removal of the tree and concurs with the property owner. If it pleases the tree board, approve the request from the property owner to remove the tree adjacent to their property at their expense. So you could look at the picture there at the tree is actually inside their fence line. And it is a pretty imposing tree. It's a very large, mature tree. The applicant has reported that some of the branches have fallen down and caused damage to their property. I do know that some of the other residents in that area have removed some trees on their private property that are the same size and species of trees for those same reasons.
Tree looks pretty healthy to me.
True.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It's the one tree in the list of trees that looks the most questionable about removal. I'll just wait for comments from the other tree board members. you can convince me that it needs to come down, but besides that, I don't see a good reason for it, because we all live under trees like this.
I think that had the tree not been limbed up as far as it is, it would have posed some problems, but with it the way it is, you know, it looks to be an extremely healthy tree, and
Yeah, but it's still got a top to it. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
done. The top is healthy, what's about half, the crown's about half. It's extremely a healthy tree. I don't know if it's got root issues, I would assume not. Any tree of that size can be a hazard, but predicting which one is gonna be a hazard. Either way on that one for me.
Is there any more information that you think we should know from the staff perspective that contributed to your recommendation to
The-
approve it?
Basically, talking to the property owner and looking at some of the other residents in the area that have this, like I said earlier, the same species of tree and the same size and age of the trees. I know the neighbor across the street removed about 3 of these trees from the same size for the same reasons. His branches are coming down off of the tree and causing property damage. So I'm not sure what's going on with these trees in that area, but I do know that other trees, you know, they're neighbors. Yeah, I took down my trees for this reason, and these people probably have those same fears. And maybe they have experienced some tree branches falling off that has caused property damage in the past. But, you know, these are pretty substantial limbs coming down
Yeah.
off of this tree, that when they do come down from that height, they just express those concerns to staff.
It seems like the tree's quite a ways away from the house.
It's quite a big tree.
It is a big tree. It is a big tree. But, you know,
And the wind direction southwest there would push the tree, that whatever comes down into the house.
I'm turned around here. Southwest wind would take it into the house.
I think so. I think it's pointing north. I think this is, it exits onto Coos Boulevard up here. I think this is south, southwest wind coming this way.
So just to orient yourself, as we're looking at this picture, as you go further up the screen, if you will, you'll hit Ocean Boulevard. And so that's where that is at up there. So the water board would be to your left, just another half a block. I know this because my daughter lives at 2050. So she has a water board butting up against her back of her property. But
The men live across the street, and some other friends live across the street.
yeah.
I think looking at it from a friendly neighborhood point of view, if that is their neighborhood, and that is the process they've been going through with other neighbors in the neighborhood, I would say that the best thing would be to go with a neighborhood perspective and allow removal. But this is a really head scratcher.
Agreed.
It's a healthy tree from our perspective, very healthy tree from our perspective, but does it belong in the neighborhood? That's the question. A smaller tree, maybe. I understand I live under trees. I have 10 trees in the road right away above us that are of that size. And I get small limbs on the roof, nothing big lately, but,
Sure.
It's kind of ironic that the street's called Timberline, and that's the last piece of timber you got.
yes.
yeah. Can we ask them to replant another tree of some sort, not necessarily a conifer?
If that's the recommendation of the board, we can definitely ask that they,
I don't think that doesn't matter to me because it's out inside their fence.
Okay,
Yeah,
So that's their yard. I wouldn't go with that.
I'm on that align with that as well. And I think, looking around, this is an area where there is a lot of vegetation, other trees. We aren't talking about the only tree on the street or
There's
within the 2 blocks.
There's a lot of trees within sight of any
Yeah.
place in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and I think what you said about, neighborhood feel and appropriateness for that location, kind of is important when I'm thinking about this issue. So I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the request from the property owner to remove the tree adjacent to the property at their expense.
I'll second.
What's your feeling, Rick? I just want.
Well, I'm okay with that, but I'm a little bit concerned here. It's a healthy tree, and we're asking that it be removed. I don't know where that goes from here. The next person that says, well, I've got a big tree in front of my yard, and I'd like it taken down too, you let them do it.
Our opinions are always based on, my opinion is always based on site-specific. And I think that all of us would be site-specific, and I'm not the kind of guy that says you did it once, you can do it again just because.
Okay.
But, I think that's my opinion on it. It
Okay,
doesn't set
well-
I don't believe in precedence for a specific tree.
Okay, well, I'll go along with that.
And where are we? Do we have a second? Cora?
We have a second.
Okay.
It was it was seconded. So we have before us a motion to remove that tree, allow the property owner to remove that tree at their expense. And we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, we'll go ahead and allow the property owner to remove it at their expense. Okay, moving along to our last tree removal request at 2050 Thompson Road.
All right. On October 16th, 2024, City of Coos Bay received an application for the property owner, 2050 Thompson Road, with a request to remove a tree that is leaning towards their residence. Staff investigated and found that the Douglas fir tree has been heavily limbed by Pacific Power over the course of several years on one side of the tree and has caused a growth imbalance and has rendered the tree in danger of falling. Staff recommends the removal of the tree and concurs with the property owner and the increase of threat of falling in the near future. If it pleases the tree board, approve the request from the property owner at 2050 Thompson Road to remove the tree adjacent to the property. The board and the folks online, the applicant is here, Mr. Parrott, William, and he indicated at the beginning of the meeting that I might have had marked on the exhibit the wrong tree. I don't think the pictures are of the wrong tree, I just think on the exhibit I might have marked the wrong tree. So if there's any questions of the applicant, he's here to answer those. But if you look at the pictures, the second picture really shows the lean of the tree. And sorry these aren't in the right orientation. Get a broken neck looking at it, but.
Which, on the map picture with the red line around it, which is the correct tree?
I think, Mr. Parrott, is it the one just to the south of that?
It should be the first tree.
The first tree coming from Thompson,
Yes,
Okay, so it's a smaller one,
yes.
according to what I can see here.
smaller of the
Yeah,
two.
the bigger one marked,
Okay.
because we want to make sure we're doing the right tree.
We want to make sure we're taking the right tree down as well.
And it's leaning towards residences, right? It's
Yes.
leaning east?
Yes,
Correct.
and most of the limbs that are off on that one side are actually due to the wind,
Bill,
or southwesterly,
Yeah.
William,
northwesterly.
would you mind coming up here so the folks online could hear you as well? Thank you.
I'm Bill Parrott, 2050 Thompson Road. Actually, the limbs a lack of limbs is from the wind. Most of the trees around there are that way. Most of them around town are that way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's, and the stump has a crook in it. And that's why I think it's leaning, you know. So, That's all I got.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions?
So, if it's not the tree that, that's circled here, which tree is it? I'm confused. This little guy?
Yeah, it's the one further to the south.
Okay. And that's not this guy that's up.
That's the correct one, but according to him,
I
So-
think that might actually be the first tree that's circled.
Yeah.
It's much clearer in this photo. Oh, actually, it is the same because you
Is there
can see
any
the
way you
position
can
of the
put
trucks.
this up on the, so
It's
everybody
just
can
that
see it?
the limbs are missing on the side that's facing us in this photo.
We're gonna,
So you
we're
can't
gonna
tell
put
the
it,
angle.
we're gonna put it up on the, so the folks online can see it as well, and then
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
indicate which
'cause
tree it is with the mouse. We'll point at it.
this might be the other tree, but I'm not sure.
'Cause-
I think that's it because you can see the sheer, I'm looking at
Okay.
it sideways.
So if you guys,
You can see this angle.
if everybody can see on the screen, if you could just.
Oh, you turned it.
Perfect. The mouse, that's where the tree is at. I apologize, I marked the wrong tree on the exhibit. That tree that is being circled by the mouse is the correct tree that needs to be removed.
Okay. So the tree that we're looking at here, is that the correct tree or the incorrect tree?
The one that is being circled on the screen now is the
Okay.
correct tree.
Okay.
And in the photos documenting
And in the
it.
photos
Okay.
documented. The one that is marked on the exhibit in the red cloud is incorrect.
Okay. Well. And it's a fir, I'm assuming?
Yes,
Yes.
Doug fir.
In my estimation, it's got a pitch of about a 10-degree pitch.
Which is visible in the second picture.
Correct.
And you say she's got a pistol butt.
Yeah.
Sounds like
All
it.
right. Probably the only guy who knows what a pistol butt is.
I picked up what you were saying.
I got that term.
Do you? Okay, well, you're a forester, you should. Well, I think, yeah, I have no problem. Let's take it out.
I make a motion that we should allow the landowner to remove the tree under his request, at his cost.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to let the property owner remove the tree with the crooked base.
Pistol butt.
And we have crooked butt, excuse me. And we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we'll let the property owner remove that tree at his expense. Thank you very much, Mr. Parrott, for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'll be sending you a letter in the mail with the official announcement, but you've
Okay.
heard it from the horse's mouth.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, William.
Okay, any board member or staff comments?
About what?
Anything?
I'd like to go back to the request that I got, my emails that I got about training that I need. That's the only thing that I've got.
I'm set to take mine on the 11th of February.
Okay?
Okay. I'm a little concerned, what are we gonna do with the two Chanticleer pears that were taken down by Best Western? I know they had storm damage, but, now I see they're sawed off the ground. They were salvageable, it's just the tops were out. But is there any thoughts on that?
Were those wind damage?
That was wind damage.
Okay.
Both of those were wind damage. Both of those fall within ODOT's right-of-way. And so I'm not sure what ODOT plans are in that area. I know ODOT, when I spoke with them about those trees, they would like to kind of get away from vegetation in the right-of-way.
Sure they will.
Of
course.
But I'm not sure what their intent there is.
Okay.
So yeah, both of those, I think one of them caused damage to the Best Western sign. Kind of knocked a big chunk out of that. And so, yeah, I'm not sure what their intentions are at this point in time.
Well, that little area is the only area of town that has pears. There's some over there by Shark Bites and the old Cafe 101. That little cluster area is kind of the Pyrus area, the pear area of Coos Bay.
Beside the visitor center, that area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Well, it would be nice if they replaced them, but I suppose because if it's in their right of way, we can't, I don't know that, can we make them, put them back?
I don't think we have jurisdiction over that, so that would be up to them. I could definitely reach out and find out what their intentions are, but they have not indicated that they were interested, or they indicated that they were not interested in planting any more trees in the right-of-way. I think if the private property owner there at the Best Western wanted to plant trees on their property, I think they definitely could, but I don't think that ODOT is interested in planting any trees.
As I remember, those trees take a lot of everything between wind and traffic.
Yeah.
They were in tough shape at times, just from my inventory stuff.
Well, they got pretty tall. The ones by the visitor center and the old Cafe 101, they didn't let them get that tall. Anyway, that's all I've got. Haley?
Carmen or Patrick, do either of you have?
Nope, no further comments from me.
And the same, no further comments.
Okay, so Meredith, or to get back to your comment about the email for the OGEC public meeting law training requirement, that's a mandatory meeting for all public boards and, members of boards and everybody that works in public meetings. So there is a link there that you sign up for, you schedule a meeting, a class time to go attend that.
It's just an online training that is offered at certain times.
Correct, that's my understanding, yes.
Just have to go look at the schedule. And
Go look at the schedule and schedule yourself a time that works best for you. Has anybody done that training yet? Corey, I know you're scheduled,
No.
but,
No, I haven't. I looked into it a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be difficult. It's just going over what meeting rules and that sort of thing are. It is an hour and a half long, just so people know that they can plan. And I know that I was not able to, I was gonna schedule it for this month, but I couldn't get into one of the classes, so I think that the classes are filling up quite quickly.
Can you tell me what the schedule looks like? Is it pretty flexible, or is it just?
No, actually, they only had 2 or 3 for February, 2 or 3 classes dealing, they have more than one class that they're giving, but the one for the public meeting rules was only 2 or 3 of them for the month of February. I didn't go out farther than that because I wanted to get it over and get it done with.
Yeah, is there flexibility in scheduling? Is it like only offered on Tuesdays, or is there other,
The one I'm taking is on a Tuesday, and I don't know if the other dates were on different days. I kind of think they were,
Because for me, if I, I'm like Rex, I have other things I'm doing, and meetings and training on days that I'm doing other things kind of destroys my schedule, so.
Right. The only thing I can say is go to the link,
I
go
will
into
go-
the calendar and look to see what is available
I'll
for
go
you.
to see if they have any flexibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
From staff, I think, thank you for everybody coming in today. Appreciate the chair and the vice chair for this next year. Congratulations on
Yes,
your
thanks,
appointments.
Thanks, Cora.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Any, next meeting is scheduled, I think, in March. Is that when the next one is scheduled? Next one is scheduled in March. Is there any particular topics or agenda items that this board would like to include in that meeting that haven't been previously talked about, or something you guys would like to talk about?
Well, we probably can go over the meeting rules if there's anything, once we take the class, that anything that's, real pertinent that needs to be discussed or pointed out.
And as always, if there is anything, please feel free to email staff. We can definitely add anything to the agenda. But once again, I really do appreciate everybody's efforts, taking time out of your day and your busy schedules to come in and act on behalf of the citizens. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
Cora,
welcome.
what's the time of the meeting you're scheduled for? Is it midday or what?
It's at 1:30, I think.
1:30. Let's shoot the guts out of my day.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I just figured I would take a long lunch at that time, so.
I was just wondering, see if I can find something that fits my schedule.
Yeah, like I say, go into the calendar and look and see what you can, they're gonna be giving them for I think it was like they said 6 months. So,
Okay.
you may be delayed in being able to take it until whenever you might be able to fit it in.
Okay.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Signing off.
Greg, if there's anything, let me know.
If there is not, appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you later.
Hey,
We
Rex,
are
is there
adjourned?
any day of the week that's
We are
better for you
adjourned.
than-
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
I never know what my day's gonna be.
I don't
when
know.
wake up in the morning. It changes.
See, we used to have Friday meetings,